Leave me! I am not a thief! Leave me! I am not a thief! A young man's voice echoed from the shadows of a police checkpoint, but the sound of blows drowned him out. Torches flickered, boots thudded against flesh. By morning, whispers spread through the village. Another motorist brutalized at the checkpoint. No one knew his name, no one knew his story, until now. His name was Paschal. He was not rich, he was not powerful. He was just a stubborn young man who hated injustice. His flaw? He could not keep quiet when something was wrong. He believed truth always won. But in a land where truth was trampled daily, that belief was dangerous. One evening, Paschal was stopped at the infamous checkpoint. The officers checked his papers. Perfect. Yet they smacked and said, "Paschal, settle us. Now your boys they here." He refused. That one word, no, lit the fire. They dragged him out, beat him, called him a criminal. They whispered lies that drew louder until even passers-by began to wonder. Paschal was locked up. Days became weeks. Weeks became months. 6 whole months, lost, forgotten. But Paschal had a secret, a weapon hidden in sight. His meta glasses had recorded everything. While Paschal rotted in detention, life outside continued. The checkpoint grew fatter with bribes. Motorists whispered curses, but paid to avoid delay. One afternoon, fate sent another man into their trap. His name was Charles. He drove a shiny Mercedes-Benz C400. The officers licked their lips. A car like this, fraud for sure. They stopped him, checked his papers, found no fault. Still, they demanded money. Charles refused. Hours passed. His anger boiled. At last, they seized him, dragged him toward their station. What the officers didn't know was this: Charles had a brother. Not just any brother. Senator D.D., a man of influence, respected across the land. Inside the cell, Charles clenched his fists, his watch and phone already taken. But with one last move before his phone was seized, he had dropped a live location pin. Outside, black SUVs roared to a stop. Senator D.D. stepped out. The ground trembled. Whispers spread like wildfire. "Is that not Senator D.D.? What is he doing here?" Senator D.D. stormed into the DPO's office. "My brother, where is he?" They brought Charles out, rumpled, humiliated. Senator D.D. listened. Every detail of extortion, every insult. His face hardened. "You dared to do this to my blood." The officers trembled. They begged. They promised. The senator's voice cracked like thunder. "The day this repeats, you will lose your jobs." He turned, ready to leave with Charles. But then, a whisper crawled out of the corridor. "Sir, please, help me." Senator D.D. froze mid-step. His polished shoes made no sound, yet the whole corridor seemed to echo with silence. He turned slowly. Behind the rusted bars of the last cell, 2 hands clung desperately to the iron rods. They trembled, weak, thin, almost skeletal. A gaunt face pressed against the bars, eyes hollow, yet burning with fire. The voice that came out was cracked, like dry earth pleading for rain. "Sir, please, don't pass me by. My name is Paschal." The senator's brows furrowed. He stepped closer, his shadow falling over the broken figure. Paschal swallowed hard, his throat dry from months of silence. I have been here 6 months, sir. 6 long months. Not because I stole, not because I killed, not because I committed any crime. No, I am here because I refuse to give them bribe." The corridor grew colder. Even the junior officers standing guard shifted uneasily, their eyes darting to the floor. The senator's eyes narrowed. "You mean to say they locked you up simply because you said no?" Paschal nodded slowly. His fingers clutched the bars tighter, his knuckles white. "Every day, sir, I asked for justice. Every night I prayed someone would hear me, but my voice was drowned by their lies. They called me a fraudster, a criminal. They dragged me here, beat me, starved me, and when I tried to speak, they silenced me. Who would listen? Who would care? I had no father to call, no brother in power, no one, until today." His voice cracked. He sank to his knees, still gripping the bars, his head bowed. The senator's jaw tightened. A storm brewed to his chest. But he did not rush. He did not speak yet. Instead, his voice came out low, steady, almost dangerous. Pascal, do you have proof of this? Pascal raised his head, his eyes fierce, despite his broken body. Yes, sir. Proof that cannot be denied. On the day they stopped me, I wore glasses. Not ordinary glasses, meta glasses. They recorded everything. Every slap, every insult, every false accusation. All of it is in my phone. The same phone they seized from me. The silence that followed was deafening. The DPO, who had followed behind nervously, felt his stomach twist. His face went pale like chalk rubbed on stone. Sweat trickled down his temple. In that instant, he understood. This prisoner was not just a forgotten man. This was a mirror about to show the world the filth they had hidden. For the first time, the hunters, the proud, arrogant officers who preyed on motorists, felt the icy breath of fear crawl down their necks. And in that dim corridor, it was no longer Pascal behind the bars. It was they who had become prisoners of their own corruption. At first, they hesitated to return Pascal's phone. One officer muttered excuses. "It is not here, sir." Another pretended not to remember. But Senator Didi's voice thundered, "Bring it now." Moments later, the phone was placed in Pascal's trembling hands. The room held its breath. Would there truly be proof, or was this just the cry of a desperate man? Pascal's fingers, weak from months of chains, struggled to unlock the device. His hands shook as though the weight of a whole nation rested on them. Finally, the screen lit up. He scrolled, his eyes searching. Then he found it. The recording. The very day his life had been shattered. He pressed play. The room sank into silence. From the small device, voices burst out like ghosts resurrected. "Park there, you no go leave until you settle us." Slaps. Cries. The thud of boots on flesh. Another voice sneered, "Yahoo boy, we don't catch you today, fraudster." The recording showed Pascal's face, bloodied but unbroken, as he pleaded his innocence. It showed officials laughing, exchanging glances, one even whispering, "Take him to cell, we go fix him." Every second of that video was a dagger of truth stabbing through the air. No one in the room moved. No one breathed. The officers who had once stood proud at the checkpoint now shook like leaves in a storm. Their eyes darted to the ground, unable to meet the gaze of the senator, unable to face Pascal. One whispered, "It's a lie." But the video cut him short with his own voice, demanding money. The truth screamed louder than any denial. Senator Didi's eyes blazed. "Do you see? Do you hear? This is what you call policing." His words struck like thunder. Even the DPO shifted uneasily, his face drenched in sweat. At last, he backed an order. "Bring them in." The guilty officers were summoned. They shuffled into the room, their shoulders hunched, their arrogance gone. Gone were the loud voices, the swagger, the shameless grins. Now, they looked like chickens dragged to the slaughter. The DPO's voice rang out, heavy with authority. "You stand accused of extortion, brutality, and falsehood. You stained the badge. You disgraced the uniform. Do you deny it?" Silence. Then, one after the other, they stammered, We are guilty, sir." The room shook as the DPO's hand slammed against the table. "Then hear your judgment." He rose to his feet, his voice roaring like a storm. "You are hereby dismissed. From this day, you will never again wear this uniform you have disgraced. Strip them." Chaos followed. Belts unbuckled. Shirts pulled off. Caps thrown to the floor. The once proud policemen stood half naked, trembling, their shame exposed to every eye in the room. The junior officers watching from the corners whispered among themselves, "See how the mighty fall. Kama no de rush, but he de catch." Their boots were removed. Their names struck off the records. They were marched out like criminals, the very same way they had once marched innocent men. Paschal stood, still dazed, as the keys to freedom were handed to him. The heavy chains around his wrists and ankles clinked, then fell to the floor. For the first time in 6 months, his back straightened. For the first time in 6 months, he breathed as a free man. Tears filled his eyes as he turned to Senator Didi. "Sir, thank you. Thank you for believing me." But the senator shook his head gently. "No, Paschal. You freed yourself. Your courage, your refusal to bow, your hidden proof, that is what saves you. Today you remind us all that truth may be delayed, but it can never die. Outside the station, the crowd that had gathered erupted in cheers as Paschal walked out. Some clapped, some raised their fists, others chanted proverbs. The truth is like palm oil. No matter how long it hides, it must float. When lies run for 20 years, one day truth will catch it in a single morning. The disgraced officers were paraded past the same people they once tormented. Women spat on the ground. Men shook their heads. Children pointed, whispering, "Those are the ones. Those are the evil men." And thus the tale was sealed. Paschal was free. Justice had spoken. And the land remembered. Power may oppress for a season, but justice always arrives like dawn after the darkest night. Outside, as the morning sun painted the sky, Paschal fell to his knees. "Thank you, Senator. You saved me." But Senator DD lifted him up. "No, young man, you saved yourself. You chose truth over bribe. That is courage." The crowd watching nodded, murmuring proverbs. No matter how long the night, the sun must rise. The truth may walk slowly, but it will reach the market. From that day, the tale of the checkpoint curse spread far and wide. Motorists spoke of Paschal's courage. Children whispered about Senator DD's arrival like thunder. And corrupt officers remembered. Karma never forgets. Thanks for watching. Please kindly like, comment your thought about this video, share, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.